if you say that you're not going to put leaded gasoline into Ferrari, why are you putting junk food into your body, right? Because your body is way more expensive than Ferrari. If you have money, you can buy many Ferraris. You cannot buy another body. This is what we're giving. So you...
Hi, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of the Sleep Like a Boss podcast, where we're going to talk about a topic that I think is so relevant for probably all of us, and that is chronic stress and what it does to your gut and what it does to your sleep. And I'm super excited to have Dennis Wong on the show. Hi, Dennis.
Hi, Annika.
You are, to me, this is the most fascinating of all the worlds out there. You are a pharmacist by profession.
Yes.
And you have taken that knowledge and expanded it with functional medicine. You are a pharmacist by degree, and you have also a certification from the Institute of Functional Medicine, which is, I think, really the best of both worlds, because you do understand the Western medicine part. You do prescribe, you do work with prescription patients, right? You come from doctors and get prescribed medications, but you also work with people in root cause medicine.
Absolutely. And that's, like you said, that's the best of both worlds, because, the traditional prescription medication, they have a place for it, right? For the acute situation that they can do. But when becoming chronic situation, traditional prescription medication no longer can support you, the way it should be, how your body's supposed to function and how your physiology, all of that. So then we get into functional medicine side and started, digging, see what's underlying causes and what's triggering. And I'm sure you have patients that, you mentioned that as long as 35 years of suffering. And I've seen many patients that come to me, 10 to 20 years of having these chronic health issues that nobody can figure it out. And they just on the cruise control, so to speak, just on these medication. And I have actually seen 5 years ago, one young gentleman was on 3 different antipsychotic and antidepressant, plus the 2 sleeping medication that came to me, and nobody figured it out what's happened. And after working with him like a year, getting him stress control, all of that, then I found out that he actually had 2 concussions.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody treated him. Nobody knew about it. And they thought, okay, just sports injury, nothing. And as we talking, I found out, okay, that's a concussion. So I started treating him for his concussion. And after 2 years, we end up with 1 medication out of 5. And he's happy. He's now, like, when he came to me, I think he's like 23. And after working with him for 2 years, when he was 25, he looked like a teenager, smiling and bubbly and, totally changed. So I was so happy.
I fully understand. And thank you for the work that you do, because I think this is phenomenal. And we happen to find out that we are in the same city. So I'm even more excited about that.
I'm excited. Absolutely. I didn't even know when, I talked to you, I think a couple of months ago that, can I be on your podcast? And we started chatting a little bit on email. And I didn't know until like a few minutes ago that we were both in Winnipeg.
Yeah, I'm so excited for this. And I think the city can be so, so grateful that we have you.
Fortunately, there's actually another IFM certified practitioner in Winnipeg that I just did. I don't know if you met her, Lula Jong. She's a functional psychologist in Winnipeg.
Oh, amazing.
So, we are coming out of woodwork that slowly people will hopefully get to know us, and then we can, among us, we can help many people.
Absolutely. And that's what we have the podcast for too, right? So we spread the word more widely.
Absolutely.
And should we dive into today's topic? Because I think chronic stress, and we're going to talk about how this affects your gut function, how it affects your sleep and your energy, because from us, from our functional perspectives, everything's connected, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Should we dive in? Describe to me a little bit what you see with people with, what do you see as chronic stress? What causes chronic stress for people today?
Right. Even like without, as you know, stress is a cumulative thing, right? So if you have a acute stress issue and you never really dealt with it, the body will try to recover, but you keep getting that stress, acute stress many times. In the long run, it's become chronic stress, and that's become an underlying cause of other health issue. And one of the areas that I wanted to bring it up is that some people, they don't even know they are under stress because they look at stress as totally different. And, from our point of view, as there's two different types of stress, but the body reacts the same thing. One is distress, that everybody knows that, oh, I'm stressed. The other thing is that we are excited because something good's happening. And we don't look at it and consider that as a stress, but the body is still reacting as a stress. And I want to bring that up because I actually still remember almost 10 years ago, on, I think, Thursday or Friday, this one lady came in and she said she can't sleep. And the whole week now she can't sleep and she cannot function anymore because now lack of sleep causing the memory loss, brain fog, all of that, and low energy and, exhaustion. So she said she has a sleeping pill and her sleeping pill is not working anymore. And she doesn't know why. So she's out of town patient and she talked to her friends in town that she's visiting. And they said, you may want to go talk to dentist. If anybody knows, he'll probably will. So she came in and so she ended up talking to me and I said, okay, so I start digging. I said, okay, you're here a week now and you're not from Winnipeg. She said, yes. So I said, why are you here for a week now? Visiting? She said, no. I said, okay, then why are you here? And she said, I'm here to plan my daughter's wedding, which is on Saturday. I want to make sure everything is going according to plan. And I am very excited that my daughter is getting married. I started smiling and she's like, what are you smiling for? I said, you are stressed because of the wedding. She said, no, I'm excited. I said, but your body is reacting the same thing. With your excitement, cortisols are pumping, adrenals are, adrenals are pumping. Now you can't sleep. You can't eat either. She said, yeah, I'm not hungry. And, you're thinking about wedding throughout the night. Okay, you just running through the whole wedding plan every night. She said, yeah. So I gave her a couple of supplements. Melatonin is one of them, of course. And then the other one I gave her was L-theanine to calm her, the whole stress response, anxiety, all of them down. And I said, when are you leaving? She said, Tuesday. I said, okay, Monday, come and let me know. I want to know how the wedding went. She said, okay. So Monday she came in. She said, thank you very much for your, help and a couple of supplements that you gave me. I was able to sleep Thursday, Friday properly. So I was functioning on Saturday and we had the most beautiful wedding. I'm like, great, I'm happy. She said, I'm going home tomorrow. I don't have to stress anymore. I'm sleeping now. I don't need the supplement. I'm like, good. So, that's the thing. People don't see that. And even then, after a while, and if your body is not able to recover and relax properly and will keep texting on us with one stress after another, then in the long run, the first thing happen is that you're going to notice that your digestive system's no longer working. That's when you start getting gut issue of, I got a heartburn. I got a, indigestion. And then they go to the doctor and the doctor says, indigestion, I'm going to give you PPI. So, proton pump inhibitor lower the acid.
don't take them. I took them for a little while. This
Oh,
was the worst thing. And they make you feel stupid. Like within
yeah,
weeks, I felt I had brain fog.
I get people off PPI. And so they take PPI. Now, because stomach acid is low now, when you eat protein, it's not digesting the protein anymore properly. And when your stomach acid is low, as you know, minerals are not getting absorbed properly. And then they got anemia. Go to the doctor says, oh, your B12 is low. We're going to put you on vitamin B12 injection or, sublingual. That meantime, with a low acid, the whole bacteria imbalance has gone out of whack. Now you got bloating. Now you got a bit of loose stool. And, now you eat vegetables and you got bloating. All that's happening. And now you're stressed because your gut's not working. And your body is stressed because you're not digesting and not absorbing nutrients properly. Now you've got nutrient deficiency. Now your body is even more stressed. You cannot produce energy properly because you don't have, the nutrients, and you don't have the protein properly because not digesting. All of that just snowball. So now you're gonna be fatigued because you don't have nutrients properly, your mitochondria are not working, and because of that, your whole body is stressed. Now your cortisols are pumping. Now you can't sleep. And because you don't have a proper amount of protein into the system, your overnight sleep sugar level is gonna go haywire because not enough protein is gonna dip the sugar. When sugar dip middle of the night, your brain's gonna say, I need sugar, so pump the cortisol. When high cortisol happen, cortisol increase the sugar level in the blood. Now, if that keep happening, you got mood issue, not just that in the long run, with the cortisol spike and sugar level going up, the doctor's gonna diagnose you with a type 2 diabetes. And you're gonna get put on diabetic medication. And with that chronic stress, you're going to have weight gain because of the cortisol spike and all of that insulin, resistance happening now. Then doctor's going to say, you know what? You may need Ozempic.
And maybe an antidepressant or an anti-anxiety medication because your
and anti-anxiety and sleeping pill. So you're going to start having this medication. And meantime, nothing's really looking at the root cause. And that's where, you and I came in, right? People that see you, you look at it, okay, why is it causing, these, stress sleep issue? You're gonna, like you said, you're gonna look at all these different neurotransmitter, et cetera, gut, you do gut testing and see how the bacteria are. Is there leaky gut? Like I just recently worked with a retired teacher for 3 months. When she came to me, she was exhausted, and she actually was having an AFib from the stress. So her main concern was that almost every second day, she'll have a AFib episode once or twice a day. And so she came to me and said, can you help? And so knowing her, previous work as a teacher and staff, so I started looking into the stress, and I started talking about the gut function. And she said, yeah, my digestion's not good. So I put her on 3 months of autoimmune protocol and adrenal protocol combination. And within a month, she came in and she's smiling and she said, I want to tell you one thing. I am not napping in the afternoon anymore. I'm like, yes. She said, but I missed it. I said, you don't. So she got all the energy. And after 3 months, she said, now I'm having a AFib episode once a week only, from 1 to 2 every other day. And she said, but my digestion's still not good. So I'm actually working with her for leaky gut. I'm not even running the test. I'm just based on how she feels. So there's time that you need to do the test. There's time that it's so classical that you know it. It just, run my menu plan, lifestyle issue, etc. So I'm putting her on leaky gut for next 6 weeks. And then I'm going to transition her to Mediterranean menu plan. And hopefully by that time, she's good enough that she can just manage her food and stuff. And I can be pull back, what I do. So
It's great. And I think it's always so fascinating because I see that with clients too. Like within people are always like, how long does it take me to sleep better? You know what? It's very individual, but
yeah,
even if we just address certain things in your life without
yeah,
even putting supplements in, within a
yeah.
couple of weeks, you're going to have more energy and
Oh,
you're going to be
absolutely.
able to do these things like we
Yeah,
might ask you
yeah,
to do, like
yeah,
change your diet,
exactly.
do a
It's
little
like,
bit of this or that, right? We give you
yeah,
the
like I
energy so
mentioned
you can do it.
before, we started recording, like there was a gentleman that I worked with the PTSD for 20 years. And before even we started any supplement, I just asked him to eat certain way for a week. And that totally changed within a week, his energy and his mind, memories and all of that. So absolutely, everybody is different. We have to work with each individual and see what they need and how long they're going to like you said, patient that you saw for, have a 35 years of sleep issue. Yeah, it's not going to be overnight, it's 35 years, right? And the same thing, some of the patients that come to me, they've been having issue for 5 or 10 years. And after 3 months, they like, I'm not, 100%. I looked at them and smiled and said, how long did you have the issue for? Right. And they're like, 10 years. Well, how long we've been working together? 3 months. So you got to give it a little bit of the time. So depending on, I think, how long they've been experiencing these issues, it's going to take a little bit longer as, we work with them. But some people are great. Like you can, even though they have whatever issue for a long time, some people like, the gentleman that I work with the PTSD, within a week or two, their systems recover so quickly with the right food and right lifestyle and stuff, even before any supplement or anything.
Yeah,
So it's all depends.
absolutely.
You just have to ready to, you know, do the thing that you need to do. Like we as a practitioner, we see what need to be done. And then we will tell, these patients, okay, this is the plan you need to do. And you're in the driver's seat now. And I'm gonna, be on your side and guide you, but you need to do it. And that's one of the things that I find it that sometimes a little bit frustrating is that these people, they are so used to traditional prescription medication for sleep and stuff. When you're trying to tell them to do something, they don't want to. They want magic pill from you. And we're not magician. We're
Try our
functional
best. We
medicine
try our best,
practitioner,
but we're
and
not,
yeah, we
right?
try our best to help you. And you have to put a little bit of work in.
And I think more and more people understand that. I think it's just it's like, I think the human body, like the society over the past, I don't even want to put a number, 50, 80 years, maybe, we've been so conditioned to convenience, being with
Yeah,
food, being it with technology. Like you're literally ordering your food to your home, right? You don't
yeah,
go and
yeah.
hunt your food anymore. You either go to the
No,
grocery store, that's
no,
even effort. But
yeah.
calling an Uber and having your food delivered,
I know.
there's no effort
Yeah,
in this, right? So I
no,
think
no.
that's sometimes a change, but I think people see, or if I talk about my clients, they see that they can get better very quickly to a certain degree already. They see
Hmm.
progress very quickly.
Yeah,
And with that, you get the motivation to keep going, right? And it's
yes,
exactly what you said. If somebody hasn't slept well for a year or two, yeah, we're likely going to get that out of the system because the body also has to relearn a little. The brain
yeah,
has to,
yeah,
right?
absolutely.
That is a little faster potentially than for somebody who hasn't slept in a decade or several
Yeah,
decades, right?
yeah,
But
absolutely.
that's just how the body works. Can we talk a little bit about, if we're talking about chronic stress and gut function, can we talk a little bit about the gut-brain axis? Can you dive a
absolutely.
little bit into that? Because we were mentioning before, it's like, oh yeah, you're starting to get food sensitivities. Like you're starting to not be able to digest things anymore that you used to. But your mood gets affected. You might get anxiety. People get depression. Like, why is all this happening from chronic stress?
Like I mentioned, when you have a chronic stress and when digestive system, go haywire, and you're not producing digesting proper amount of protein, you're not digesting vegetable properly, where you got the bloating and stuff. And the interesting thing is the mood and stuff, as we know it, there's 4 brain chemical, right? Serotonin, dopamine, GABA, and glutamate. Glutamate is quote unquote the excitatory one. So, you need to do fight or flight. You need glutamate. Dopamine is to make sure that you can focus and you can, think. And then serotonin is calming, GABA is calming. So, when you get under the stress type of thing, your brain started shifting, making more glutamate because you need to fight or flight. Okay. But later on, when you got into chronic stress, without getting the nutrients in properly, now your body cannot make these brain neurotransmitters, especially serotonin and dopamine and GABA properly anymore, because the protein is the building block as we know it for these, just talking about brain neurochemical, but the protein is building block for a lot of stuff in our body, muscle, enzyme, all of that, but particularly for the neurotransmitter. So let's talk about serotonin. You need protein. So, when you eat protein, it got digested to amino acid, and those amino acid, the body use that and convert the amino acid into something called 5-HTP. And, many people know with a sleep issue, you can buy 5-HTP over the counter. That is an amino acid. And then your body will then convert 5-HTP to serotonin. That's the calming neurotransmitter. So for all that conversion to get the serotonin properly, you need that protein digested properly from your gut. Second thing is that these enzymes that converting the protein to 5-HTP to serotonin need the vitamin B complex that you get from vegetables. So if you're not digesting protein and if you're not digesting vegetable, you're missing out totally the whole, building block to, like, I use the analogy that, you got a Ferrari, right? Excellent car. You need to put the premium gasoline in there. So you need to eat proper food, healthy food, not fast food, processed food. Those are like leaded gasoline. You don't want to put leaded gasoline into Ferrari, like this is $100,000 whatever dollar car. You want to put the premium gasoline in it. So those are the like protein, good protein, etc. But for the engine to burn that fuel properly, you need to have the engine oil so the engine running smoothly. I looked at vegetables and minerals and vitamins of vegetable as a engine oil. So you need premium gasoline and you need the good engine oil so that this Ferrari will go fast the way you want to. Our body is the same thing. If you say that you're not going to put leaded gasoline into Ferrari, why are you putting junk food into your body, right? Because your body is way more expensive than Ferrari. If you have money, you can buy many Ferraris. You cannot buy another body. This is what we're giving. So you need to treat it. So that's, why you need to eat proper whatever. But the other thing is, as we know it, when I was training back in 2004, 2005, we had the neurotransmitter test by urine testing. And one of the functional neurologists was totally against it because he said, whatever brain neurochemical that produced by the brain does not cross blood-brain barrier to come down into urine. But now we know that 80% of the serotonin that our body uses is produced in our gut, not in our brain. So that's why when you're chronically stressed and your gut function is out of whack, your mood is affected and your brain neurotransmitters are no longer working. And so, we look at the gut as a second brain, and there's a gut-brain axis that communicate. The communication, do you know that the gut tells the brain more than the brain tells the gut?
Tell us more.
Yeah, because 70% of our immune system is in our gut.
Mhm.
Every second cell that line our gut is an immune cell. And the GI tract from mouth to the anus, that is the only organ that actually exposed to outside environment except from the skin, because there is no connection into our body. The whole GI tube is a hollow tube, 10-foot ball field long, coil in there, but totally exposed to outside. So that means that when I'm talking, I'm getting all the airs and everything from in the air getting into it, including bacteria and viruses. So that's why we have 70% of the immune system in there. And their immune system does two things. One, attack the viruses and foreign material right away so that it won't harm us. So it doesn't wait for the brain to give the command. It has its own neural network that make the decision and attack it. Then transmit the information about this foreign thing that coming into the gut and telling the brain that we need to create the army of immune cell for these things coming in, so that next time when they come in, we can then even attack it even stronger. So a lot of the communication is going from the gut to the brain. The only time that the brain will tell the gut is when you're under chronic stress. The brain will then tell the gut, no more digestion, no more absorption of the nutrient, no more dumping of the toxin from the liver to the gut, because we need to fight or flight. And the brain saying, I need to concentrate. Otherwise, if I can run or I can fight, we're gonna be dead. So everything shut down. That's, I think, is the, one of the major time that the brain will tell the gut. The rest of it is automatically running it. With by sympathetic nervous system automatically running it. We don't we don't need to remember to breathe. We don't need to, when we swallow the food, we don't need to think about, okay, let's digest this food. It's everything's run by itself. And so it's really important that, the whole gut-brain axis, and like I'm actually going to be doing a podcast, live podcast next Tuesday. My podcasts are sort of every 2 weeks, Tuesday night. The title's going to be Second Brain. I wanted to talk about this a little bit more, deeply, because when I started working with patient with the chronic stress and sleep, etc., I started working from the gut and making sure that we can get that, gut working so that they can get nutrients and stuff.
Yeah, I agree. It's the underlying thing. And I think a lot of us don't understand that we constantly run away from a bear, like in Canada, we would be running away from a bear,
absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
But there isn't one.
No, it's often a white tiger.
Whatever it is, right? It's like often we're just so stressed that we're constantly at that level and then I hear my clients are, no, I'm not going to the bathroom more than 2 or 3 times a week. It's like, because you're like, well, there's nutrient deficiency and there's an issue in the gut, but you were stressed. Your system is not safe. That's why you're not sleeping either. Right. And it's just, we're so chronically thinking we need to go and do
exactly.
and take
off.
off.
Our society
Yeah.
is, training all of us that way. And, sometimes people like, come to me and say, okay, you're talking about all these things. How do you know? You never had experience. And you and I talked about it before. We both had a, health issue ourselves that we got into this holistic approach, and we, take care of ourselves with the other holistic practitioner, functional medicine practitioner that help us through. Now we understand that, and we're like, okay, we need to help other people because we experienced it.
So what would you say? Is there anything, if somebody is experiencing, be it constipation, being a gas and bloating, is there something where we could say this is where you would generally start? Or would you say it is so individual, I would need to ask more questions to the person?
Basically, when they come to us with the, bloating or indigestion and stuff, before we get into them, they say, oh, I want something natural type of thing, and I don't want to work with you yet, whatever. Then we usually tell them either probiotic supplement, if not, fermented food. Like I've used a lot of fermented food. I've told people to drink kombucha, to drink kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi.
Yeah.
I love kimchi. I'm not Korean, I'm Chinese, but I love kimchi. My colleagues in New Jersey are Korean, and he's like, yeah, it's a good stuff. I said, exactly. So, we eat kimchi. And then I have like always 2 dozens of bottles of 500 ml of kombucha in my fridge. My kid will go, like if they, feel a little bit of uneasiness in the gut, they'll go grab a bottle and drink. And, but of course you have to make sure that not a lot of sugar. You have to select the proper kombucha that, because there's a lot of flavor one with a lot of sugar and stuff. You don't want that. So that will be my start, is all these fermented food. And if you don't want to eat fermented food, then at least get a probiotic and try that. But when I say probiotic and try it, not 1 or 2 and then, oh, it doesn't work. I have patients that come to me, come back and say, your probiotic doesn't work. I'm like, you just bought it 2 days ago, So for me, as I tell them, you have to give it at least 30 days, like 4 weeks. And then, and also modify, if they can, what they eat, or do a bit of the breathing, deep breathing, 10 deep breath 2 to 3 times a day, that to calm that stress response down. And then modifying, like, having that fermented food or probiotic to start with.
That's great. And I think it's so important, because I was going to ask you for nervous system work. I think people are always, oh my God, I don't have half an hour to sit there and meditate, and I can't meditate because it's a brain chatter. But it's really not that complicated, right? We're kind of overcomplicating it.
I'm going to tell you, for the people who said they don't have time to do that. I run 2 pharmacy, community pharmacy. I own a nutritional company, and I see patient for consult, and I have a compounding lab. So I used to tell myself, I tell people to do meditation, yoga, etc. And I used to tell myself, I don't have time. When pandemic happened, I was so stressed because I cannot close any of my pharmacy. I still have to run it. People coming in, all these things. So at the time, I told myself, if I don't do meditation, I'm going to get sick. So what I did was, I used to get up at 6:45. I changed my alarm to 6:30. As soon as I wake up, 15 minutes meditation. And then I usually don't go to bed until 11 or midnight. Now I go to bed at 10:30, and then I do half an hour meditation until 11. You just have to shift that mindset. If you keep telling yourself, I don't have time, you will never have time.
It's not a priority in that sense.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. You have to say to yourself that this is priority. When pandemic happened, I changed my priority, saying that if I don't do that, I'm going to get sick. I don't like that result. So not to get sick, what do I need to do? my plan is then I need to do the meditation. I need to create that time for the meditation. So how do I do this? And, people say, oh, you're stealing from sleep. But I sleep at, 10:30, 11. I get up at 6:30. I still got 7.5 hours, right? You need 7. I tell people you need 7 minimum, and give and take. If you get 8, great. So for me, shifting that a little bit, I still got 7.5 hours, not 8 anymore, because I, did the meditation. But that half an hour that I took to do the meditation, it's actually helped me a lot that I didn't get sick.
Plus, it probably also helps your sleep.
Oh, absolutely. Now
And it is
I'm dreaming.
It is rest, right?
Right?
It is rest
Now,
and recovery. So
yeah,
it kind of,
now I'm dreaming.
yeah,
And,
see? Yeah.
I have an Aura ring that I monitor my sleep. My worst sleeps are 85. Usually
Awesome.
it's 90, 95.
Awesome.
So, like last night, I said, okay, I'm going to switch what I'm going to use for meditation. So I switched to one of the meditation, only 10 minutes meditation by Master Cole, who's the spiritual master in Tony Robbins. And he had this 10 minutes meditation. So I just did that last night because I was doing other stuff and I was a little bit late going to bed. And then this morning I woke up at 6:30. I did half an hour meditation listening to Dr. Joe Dispenza's morning meditation track. And I'm like, okay, let's go.
Good to go. Yeah. No, I think it's so important that we find tools, right? Like I often also recommend Yoga Nidra, and they're free on YouTube.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that you can get out on. Yeah.
And you kind of have to figure out, try and test it a little what you like. Do you like the calm app? Do you like whatever it is, right? You just have to kind of find something.
And, you can keep a few tracks, or you can just do one. Like when pandemic happened, I just used one track by Emily Fletcher, who teach on Mind Valley. And her track worked for me because she said, meditation does not mean that you have to clear your head. Your mind wanders, you follow that, wherever your mind's going, use that as a meditation. I like that because, we as a type A practitioner will always go. And as we're talking, we're thinking about something, some patient, some client already. So that helped me, and that helped me the habit of meditating. And then later on, I started using different track for different mindset and different mood. So I got like Mind Valley Silver Method meditation if I want to increase my focus. If I want to do a little bit more of the spiritual, I go do that Dr. Joe Dispenza because this is all, quantum type of thing. And then if, I just want a quick one, I would do Master Cole from Tony Robbins, just, energy meditation type of thing. And then if I want a really long meditation, I'll do Dr. Joe Dispenza pineal gland meditation, which is an hour. So, as you get along, you'll find what you like, what you don't like, and then you have specific track that you want to use or not. Everybody's, again, individual.
Absolutely.
Right? You do what you need to. But the thing is that you use, like you said, different tools that's going to help us with the whole stress and sleep. Like sleep is so connected to stress that, when we talk about sleep, we have to talk about stress. And when we talk about stress, you got to talk about gut because the nutrients thing. Like, now we're doing all these things and eating properly. I'm dreaming. I can remember my dream. I was just telling the other night to my wife, I dreamt that she and I was back in the dating stage. And there was other guys in the scene. I don't know who they are. And I got upset and all of that. I'm like, I don't know where they're coming from. We've been married for like almost 30 years. Out of the blue, this weird dream about dating with her and like, never mind.
No, what I think, and that is a sign, right? That if you if you do dream regularly and you remember some of those dreams,
Yeah.
that like, yeah, your
That is
body's
when
going through
your
the
body's
sleep.
healing,
Yeah.
right? Because people tell me, like some people will come and, when I ask them about sleep, they'll tell me, oh, I never dream and I was told that I'm not supposed to dream. I'm like, no, when you dream, which means you're into REM sleep and deep sleep, that's when your body repair and regenerate. That's when your body actually make growth hormone. There's people out there, anti-aging physician, like I'm an anti-aging fellow. So I know about, human growth hormone. And way back when people were like, oh, I want a growth hormone injection, all of that. Guess what?
You
Sleep
sleep.
better. And your body will make the growth hormones.
Yeah.
You don't need to,
Yeah.
like
Absolutely.
I don't know about you and your, some of your testing, like, lately one of the testing that I'm getting into is the biological age, right? Testing the telomere length and all of that. What is your biological age and what is your, chronological age? And we started looking at that. And believe it or not, if you sleep better, for 4 weeks, and you do the test, and before and after, the studies are shown that it's improved like 15 to 20%. Some people it's more. So it's like sleep is a huge thing.
It's a huge lever, I think, it's foundational, and we just often don't take it for granted or claim it doesn't fit in our day, right? It's just
and some
24
people will say that, oh, Tony Robbins said you don't need to sleep. Guess what? I was on Tony Robbins Light Mastery, crewing, working for him voluntarily. And he literally came and said that, no, now studies are shown that you need to sleep at least 7 hours, if not 8. So he said, I changed my recommendation. You need sleep. You need to do whatever you can to get to sleep. And he said, I'm trying to get as much as I can to get to sleep. Like he can't sleep because he has a brain tumor. It's not malignant. And with that, he can't sleep. He's always awake. But now he's himself is using different method, meditation, all of that, so that he can at least get some sleep. So sleep is important. There's more studies coming that if you don't sleep, you're going to age faster.
Absolutely. This was so fun.
Yeah.
Can you tell us, if people want to find out more about you, where can they find you?
They can, like I said, I own 2 pharmacies in the city. So in Winnipeg, Sinden Pharmacy, if you Google them, you'll find us. And we have a website, sinden.com. And if you're on Facebook or Instagram, on Facebook, you can find me, Dennis Wong, and you Google it and you'll find me. On Instagram, it's Heal You From Within, which is my wellness program and wellness site. So I'm on TikTok also. I actually have a 31,000 follower on TikTok.
Wow.
And on Facebook, I got 46,000 follower on Facebook. Instagram, I'm, for whatever reason, got a couple of thousand, but I'm okay with it. So you can find me anyway. Yeah, you can Google it and Dennis Wong Winnipeg, and you'll find me.
Awesome. And I think you do have an ebook that you can share.
Yes, I do have an ebook for the stress that I wrote the ebook, 34 pages ebook that talk about how stress affect our whole body, the gut, the brain, all of that, even hormone levels. So definitely, if you want the ebook, go to our website, sinden.com. And there's a link that you can just click to download the free, or you can go to my social media website, like, Facebook or Instagram, and you click the link tree. There's a link to download the ebook. Absolutely.
And we will also drop it in the show notes so that everybody can.
Yeah, absolutely.
Grab it
Everybody can grab it from there. Yeah, that'll be great.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Dennis. This was great.
Thank you for having me, especially, as we're talking before we started, knowing that Winnipeg practitioner getting together finally, it's exciting. exciting for, a lot of people that out there, because there's many people that came to me before and they said, you know what, we don't know you're here. How long you been practicing? I'm like, I've been doing wellness consult since 2004. And they
Yes.
looked at me and puzzled, like, how come we don't know about you? Because, back then, what we do is kind of alternative medicine, right? Now it's becoming more and more sort of mainstream, saying, okay, this is a functional medicine practice. And so, I'm glad that there's more of us are here and helping, each other and helping our clients and patients.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having been here. Thank you everyone for listening and tuning in, and we shall be back shortly.
Thank you.